okay, when they're playing and having a time together in that area, um, Suga hits this car into the water, and I think it's significant only because there's this scene later in the prologue that looks like Jin drove his car into the water. He may not have. Theory B kind of supports the fact that maybe Jin did join his members and go with them, and that Taehyung is actually the last person to die. Theory B says that Jin's camera says HD, but every time we're looking through the camera, it's like broken and whatnot, and it's really poor quality, and that's why they think that Jin probably did commit suicide. So like when his car is like in the water, whatever, his camera is underwater, and that's why it looks so bad quality. I also have a theory for how the boys died. So I want to say Namjoon died first, and I know I said this earlier, but you know, the first time you see J-Hope, he's asleep and Suga wakes him up. So Namjoon died first, but J-Hope was the second to or Suga was the second person to die. Then it was Jungkook, then it was J-Hope, and then it was Jimin. And I say this because like I said, Theory B had said how they were like calming each other's after their deaths and each other after their deaths and all their worries and whatnot. Because Suga wakes up J-Hope after Jungkook comes running over, so that's what makes me think that Suga died after Namjoon, and then it was Jungkook because Jungkook comes running over, and then when Jungkook comes over, J-Hope gets woken up by Suga, and that's how J-Hope, and then that's when I thought that J-Hope probably died then, and then later on you see that Jimin is shivering, and when he shivers, that could have been like the shiver from the I Need You video, and so that's why I think, and then J-Hope covers him, so I think Jimin was the last to go, and then Taehyung and Jin were left over. Days is written on the wall in the background when they're like playing around and whatnot. So that makes me think that here Jin is still dreaming. V, of course, he keeps walking on higher places, which at this time you see him walking on this higher place. And of course, at the first time you see it, it's like foreshadowing into the end. And this is where I think, and the sun is setting. Here the sun is setting, and this is where I think that V is the butterfly, because when butterflies kind of go through a death as well, and this is why I think Taehyung's first death was after he committed the murder, so this is when he's not a caterpillar anymore, he has to roll up into this cocoon, and this is his sun-setting cocoon, when he's first on the high place. That way when he dies at the end and he jumps off, he is no longer in that cocoon, he's free, he's flying away, he's a butterfly. And you know, they keep repeating, fly away like a butterfly. So that's my thing on that, and that's why I think Taehyung is the butterfly. And when Taehyung jumps, it's in the shape of a butterfly. And they all go to that little bonfire thing where Jin and the boys are sitting around there. There's a movie in the background, but the movie just keeps replaying and replaying. It doesn't change. It's the same thing over and over again, which makes me think that Jin, he continues to look back in his memories, but also the boys look back at the video. But it's not really going anywhere, which makes me think that time did stop and that they're just repeating this moment there. And I also think since the members are looking back, I think that they're just kind of like looking back at their own memories. But here you have this like shot of Suga, and he like has the lighter, and that's where I think he was like probably thinking about, you know, did I make the right decision, whatever it was, his mind was filled with a lot of worries. And that's when Jungkook, he blows the lighter out, which kind of calms him down, so they're calming each other down. Jin has this picture in his hand during that time, and it's a picture of the sea, and it's the view you see at the very end of I Need You. At the very end of I Need You, there's this screenshot of the water, and it's like gray, and it's like really pale and light, screenshot of the sea. And Jin asked his members, he's like, do you guys want to go here? And everyone just nods, but no one speaks. And that picture is a picture of the sea. And that's why I think that Jin went back to places that where he and his members had previously gone when they were alive. And he was just going back to places where he could feel them there. And he could feel them there so well that he could basically see them, but they weren't actually there. And I know I was saying something about the gas station. I think that if Jin's hallucinating here, so he probably is imagining that the gas station is like still there and whatnot, but I think the gas station is actually closed. And I think that's why they give you that little screenshot of the gas station before they go to the sea, that the sea clip. The gas station actually isn't even open, so I do think that Namjoon probably died in a gas explosion, or Jin went there. But you know how in the picture at the end, you see Jin and it's just him, like he held the camera himself is what it looks like, and you don't see Suga. It's Sugarless. I think that's why I think also from that picture, if you look at the background, it's like dark and dismal and whatnot. That's why I think the gas station probably actually even wasn't there. It was probably closed. Okay, I also think since Jin is hallucinating, the bridge that you see like in I Need You and the bridge that you see in the prologue, I think they're the same bridge, but kind of like, like in Inception when they go to the dream world and it's like broken down and whatever, the high part at the end to me is just a part of that same bridge. I don't really know like why I think that. I just felt like the bridge is like really significant. Like maybe it's the bridge between the two worlds and whatnot, and by the end of the video you don't have a whole bridge, you just have this one part of it. When this is why I think Jin may have joined his members here, or but this is also why I think Jin was the last to die. So you know how Taehyung goes up at the top of that really high part at the end of the video? His members are saying, oh, what are you doing? Come on down, whatever. But it's also can be like them saying, come on, join us. Come back to us, and this is why you get the sad smile. And this smile, I think, was specifically for Jin, not for the members. I think this is when Taehyung finally decided that he would join his members. And Theory A says that when Taehyung had called, in the beginning, he was calling Jin. Jin looks up at the end. He looks up at Taehyung and he starts filming his imaginary Taehyung. Theory A thinks that when Jin was looking up, that was Jin hearing Taehyung's call for help in the back, which I actually think that is true. I actually think that makes sense, and that is true, because when the members are the ones who are like, come on Taehyung, come back down, what are you doing? Come join us. They're saying like, come join us, come here. Jin is the only one not doing that. He's still just filming that area, and it makes you think, what was he filming? And I think Jin was filming a butterfly, because throughout the whole video he was filming butterflies. Taehyung wasn't actually there, but Taehyung was there in spirit. And like I said, here when Taehyung jumps, the sun is rising, so it's like the new day. It's like a dawn of a new day. It's a new life, and this is the main point of the most beautiful moment in life. I think that Taehyung died when he jumped and he joined the members, and now Jin is always filming like butterflies, and these butterflies are supposed to be his members. I read in Theory B that the song they use in the credits is from Inception's soundtrack, official soundtrack, and the song used is To Wake Up people from their dreams. So that's when we have to like snap back to reality. I won't do it. I won't go there. I stopped myself. He pulls out the picture of him, and it was supposed to be him and Suga, but Suga isn't in the picture. It's just him, and he's alone, and he realized that. And that's when you realize that, you know, we have to, and that's when you realize that life goes on. and he realizes that he is alone and that his members aren't actually there. Theory A thinks that they will show Jin looking back on photos next and things like that. I don't really know, because it looks like Jin decided, it's either that Jin went on and committed suicide when he drove his car into the water, and the only reason I think he really did drive his car into the water is because it does look like water is filling up in his truck. And if you look at when they zoom out from the very last scene after the credits, the car has like water spots on it. So I think he was drowning. He just realized how alone he was. But at the same time, he might have gone and lived on. And I'm going to explain the meaning behind we have to survive, and just why that was so important. We must survive. I think that was a message to Jin, but at the same time, that happens right before the scene where they're sitting at the bonfire. Like for Jin to keep going, because we have to continue to live in you, even though we're not actually there. We have to survive. So that's what I think that means there. At the same time, the theory B thinks that we must survive is for them to understand, to distinguish, or being able to distinguish between dreams and reality. I think that it was like a message to Jin that he needs to keep going and he needs to move on. From Namjoon to say that we have to live on through you, that we're always going to be there with you, even if we're not physically there with you, but you have to keep going. We have to survive through you, but we also have to survive. But I also agree with the needing to distinguish between dreams and reality, is that we have to survive. We can't keep looking in the past. We can't keep like dreaming about things. We have to keep going no matter what, no matter how hard it gets, whether we feel alone, whatever. You're not alone. So this is where I come to the entire theme, morale of the most beautiful moment in life. So one moment, you're there, and then the next moment, one moment the members are there, and then the next moment they're gone. And the real meat and potatoes of the whole idea of the most beautiful moment in life is life itself, and just how precious it is. The precious moments, each precious memory, the things that matter to you, the things that you love, all of that gives you life, that gives you the strength to breathe, and to keep going. That is what's beautiful. That is the most beautiful moment in life. And also, why I say it's the most beautiful moment in life is life itself, is because when Taehyung jumps and he becomes a butterfly, it's like he's born again. It's like he's been reincarnated into something really, really beautiful and whatnot. And it's like a new life, a new day. And I think here's when the sun rises, and it's like when you're being born. Like when someone's being born, when someone's getting a new life, or when someone is getting life. You know how a lot of times you will hear people, like when one person dies and another person is born. I see it kind of like that. And that's why I say the most beautiful moment in life is life itself. It's the privilege of having life, and then all the things that come with it. Yes, death is imminent. And yes, it happens and whatnot. But even though that's the case, it's still beautiful. It's a part of life. It's the things that make life beautiful. And there's this quote of course, that Bang Yongguk did, and he said, like, life is like a piano, the white keys represent happiness, the black keys represent sadness, but as you go through life, the black keys, you remember that the black keys make music too. And that's why I think it's like you have to like keep going, you have to push through no matter what's going on, and that you're not completely as alone as you think you are. You're not as alone as you think you are. So it's life itself. So that is my theory for the connection between I Need You and the prologue, my explanations, and all those things. I will leave the links to both theories, theory A and theory B, that I used down below. For watching, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any like comments and stuff on it, let me know.